Welcome. I'm Jamila Chambers and you are live in the Dream Studio Unscripted. Today I want to talk to you about qualifying for your heat. My daughter is a brand new track athlete and has been brand new to the sport, and I've learned quite a few things from her as she's starting out through her process that I want to share with you today. The first of which was getting through those first few challenging months. As she would go to the practice sessions, she had some difficulty with competing with the other athletes because she was inexperienced and she was new on the team, and the result of which is that she would finish her heats last. She also had difficulty because she didn't know the technique, the breathing techniques, the techniques with the arms, in order to translate what she was good at doing on the playground to an athletic realm. And so, as you can imagine, without technique and without experience, she would finish last. And that really bruised her ego. She was so used to doing things that came easy to her, so used to doing things that would put her at the top of her class. When she was in a situation that she wasn't the most experienced, or she wasn't the one that had the most talent in the room naturally, the ego was a bit bruised and a bit damaged. The coach would say, "On your marks, get set, and go." And my daughter would take off around the track, and about 3/4 of the way through, with tears in her eyes, she would leave the track and run into the bleachers, into my husband's arms, and would get discouraged and want to quit. He would put her back on the track, and in tears she would finish. The coach would say, "On your marks, get set, and go again." She would run all the way, about 3/4 of the way around the track. She would get to where he was on the bleachers. She would run off the track, run to him on the bleachers. He would set her back on the track again, and she would run to the finish line and finish. And then finally he said, "If she's going to run to me, then I'm going to stand at the finish line." And him standing at the finish line and him standing there being her voice of encouragement got her to finish those practice runs. She set off and had a great first track meet, which was about a month ago, and that was called an all-comers meet. And what that meant was every child got acknowledged for their participation, whether they came in 4th place, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st. Each person got acknowledged for their effort. And so she did very good in that meet. She came in 2nd, came in 3rd, got acknowledged for those efforts, and that built up her confidence, built up her level of faith that she had in herself, and it really had her approach her training in an all different manner. Now, she came to her first real track meet this weekend. So this was an official track meet, unlike the all-comers meet, and the rules of that track meet were very different. So she had the opportunity to finish 2nd and 3rd in a few of the heats she competed in, and she proudly went up to the medal stand at the end of the heat to obtain her medals. And to her disappointment, she was told that although you finished 2nd and 3rd in your heat, you didn't qualify to compete overall. And so although her performance was above par with those that she was with, overall for the students or for the athletes in her particular division, she didn't place overall. So here's a couple of things that I learned from that entire process that I want to share with you today. The first of which is to know the rules of the competition. The first meet that she was in was an all-comers meet. This was a true competition. So this was a different approach. And so as you were running your race and as you were setting out to pursue your dream, know the rules of the competition. Next, just because you're at the top of your heat doesn't qualify you to be the best overall. So just because you are the smartest, the fastest, the most competent in your particular circle or your particular sphere of influence doesn't mean that you're the smartest, the fastest, and the most competent overall. So you've got to understand who your competition is, understand that how you train, how you develop yourself shouldn't be for presently who's in your current circle, but more about people that take you to the next dimension. A good litmus test for you is to understand that it's not important to be the smartest person in the room, but it is important for your development to be around people that will challenge you, around people that make you uncomfortable, around people that that pull things out of you and put you in a different place and bring things out of you that weren't present there before. Next is choosing how to understand and how to deal with your disappointments. My daughter left the medal stand and came to my husband and I in tears. And we tried to explain to her about the rules of the competition. We tried to explain to her about her level of engagement and how proud we were of her performance. But above all, there was still that disappointment that was there. And so she had a choice to make, and a choice to make very quickly, which is she can choose to be sad or choose to be disappointed and remain there, or choose to approach her training differently, choose to create a different strategy around how she was going to compete, and choose to make the decision that she was going to beat her personal best, and that her personal best was going to be what she measured herself against. And so that is something that we can all learn from and all glean from, that although we might not achieve what got us to the medal stand by someone else's definition, we can achieve and get ourselves to the medal stand by being our personal best. It's also important that as we're in our moment of training and you've logged into the Dream Studio and you understand that we're here to partner with you to create a life without limits, that it's important to learn how to do a few things. One, I told you earlier that my daughter was a bit discouraged because she was around people that were more experienced than she was. And because she wasn't the most experienced one in the room, that made her uncomfortable. You can take the opportunity to leverage from other people's experiences. So as you're around people that make you uncomfortable, as you're around people that have more experience, leverage from them, glean from them, study what they've studied, read what they read. Understand how it is that they built themselves up and developed themselves to be at the level that they're at today. Next, in order to compete, you have to refine your technique. I shared with you that my daughter didn't understand the techniques of breathing, arm movement, the way her legs had to function with the rest of her body. And so understanding that it's important to take what you do naturally and what you may do that is untrained and refine it. Define it. Be around people that will sharpen you, that will get your natural level and your natural skill set and talent to another level. Check your ego at the door. As I shared with you, one of the greatest lessons that my daughter learned from this entire process that I didn't teach her, but the process did, was that ego has no place in the defining and redefining process. And so although you may be good at some things, although you may have some things that come naturally to you, as you're stretching yourself and as you're growing, put your ego aside. Stay coachable. Stay in a position that you're willing to learn new things, that you're willing to start off at the bottom, that you're willing to work your way up. It will make all the difference as you move towards success and move towards achieving your goals. Finally, if you must run your race in tears, run it all the way to the finish line. It's so important, and it's a couple things I'll draw out from there. It's so important to understand that although the emotion was present, and I'm not sure if I'm going to finish first, and I'm not sure that I'm running my race with all of the technique and all of the finesse that maybe someone else is, the emotion of the tears built up. But don't let the emotion of the tears derail you 3/4 of the way through at the bleachers and have you quit. If you're going to run your race, and you must run it in tears, at least finish well. This is all about you, about what you can do in terms of qualifying for your personal heat to have your dreams be made manifest in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Dream Studio Unscripted. Please follow us on Facebook at Jamila Chambers, also available on Twitter. We love to hear from you. Visit our website at www.jamilachambers.net. Remember, excellence is a lifestyle, not an event. Choose today to be excellent. Until next time, I'm Jamila, and you're live in the Dream Studio.